Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Major League Baseball, Monday, July 28th. We do apologize. We've been under the weather the last couple days, so we haven't been able to put anything out for public consumption. But all of you on the Discord, I'm sure got all those. Got them a little late, but did get them. But anyway, a lot of good stuff over the weekend. I guess Red Sox-Dodgers series was pretty competitive all the way throughout. Orioles put up an 18 spot on Saturday. Woo, that was big numbers. Cubs, after a disappointing loss on Friday, ended up taking Saturday and Sunday's game against the White Sox. And, overall, pretty, like I said, pretty good series over the weekend. Hopefully you guys got to enjoy those. If you're new to our show, first of all, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow four teams in Major League Baseball: Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and the Orioles. That's where we put all of our bets. But we will give you bets throughout the lineup. So if you're on a different game or a game you really like, we'll give you some opinions in that one as well. Also, this episode brought to you by Outlier. If you have not tried Outlier, I will have a link in the comment section as well here on the YouTube show for you guys to try out. We get a lot of research done at YouTube, a lot of trends, just a lot of, best options for this bet, that bet, that bet, yada, yada, yadas, right? But great place for research. If you're a sports bettor at all and you want to do your own research and come up with your own ideas, I recommend Outlier quite a bit. So like I said, I'll have that link in the comment section for you as well to check out. Anyway, let's get to the party of Major League Baseball for Monday the 28th. We'll get started. They're all-night games. Thank goodness, right? We don't need all that pressure of them day games, right? So some to that effect. Anyway, we're getting started in a game that we are in. Blue Jays, Orioles. Chris Bassett on the mound. I don't know if you're paying attention or not, but the Blue Jays just took over the best record in Major League Baseball. Not only that, with Aaron Judge now hitting the disabled list, can the Blue Jays run away and hide in the AL East here against the Yankees? Yankees pulling off another trade for Ahmed Rosario. Probably a good thing they're adding sticks. The problem is pitching for them, so I don't know what they plan on doing for that particular part, but hitting-wise, they keep adding bats. Unfortunately, Judge, though, who's been the biggest bat of the year for everything, is down for at least 10 days or 10 games. Probably going to be longer than that. Got lucky, though, that it wasn't something worse, UCL strain, and he will not play in the outfield the rest of the season once he does come back. So it'll just be designated hitter. That does give him a little flexibility problem, but we'll see what happens there. Anyway, Blue Jays and the Orioles in Baltimore. Blue Jays slight favorite with Bassett versus Eflin in this one. Total 9.5. I'll be really honest with you here. The Orioles hit extremely well against Colorado, for the last 2 days. That's fine, whatever. The big thing here with Bassett is he's not had a ton of success, especially in Baltimore. ERA almost 8 starting on the road against Baltimore against that Orioles team. And Eflin hasn't had that great of success either against the Blue Jays. Over 9.5 is where we're focused here. Do like that quite a bit, and we'll give you all the bets we have in this game here. Orioles, Blue Jays over 3.5 first 3 innings, 5.5 first 5, 7.5 first 7. Both the Orioles and the Blue Jays over 4.5 team total as well. Guerrero and Springer right now both hitting almost 500 over the last week. Gunnar and Jackson Holiday. So we've got 4 hitters, same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Just Guerrero and Springer and Fuego. Gunnar and Jackson Holiday are hitting over 300 the last 7 games as well. Both of them, even though they faced a lot of left-handed pitching this weekend from Colorado, which they can struggle with, they did hit them pretty well as well. So we do like I said, Guerrero, Springer, Gunnar, and Jackson Holiday, the 4 hitters in that one, and that over We expect to see some runs early and often against Bassett and Eflin on both sides. Next game up, we get to the 6:40 game. At, 6:40 Eastern time frame. Rockies and the Guardians. Cicioni versus Baylock on this one. So the Guards come off a tough series with the Royals. Obviously, nationally, not nationally, American League Central Division rivalry series. It was on the road, though, so, nothing to be ashamed of, I don't think, there for the Guards. Cicioni pitching in this one. They're way too big a favorite. No question about it, but it is the Rockies. I mean, the Rockies did sneak let's look at it this way. When the Orioles were a $2.60 favorite for a majority of their series, I guess getting the $2.40 favorite here with Cicioni's not that bad. For your Rockies, I just can't get behind right at the moment. I'm trying to in this game here. Maybe they get a game this series, maybe they don't. But the Guardians' bats, for the most part, I mean, they've woke up a little bit. They did struggle in Kansas City somewhat, but they were god-awful in Kansas City. Angel Martinez, Jose Ramirez continue to put up big numbers here as of late. Just the rest of the lineup needs to come along with it. We like the Guardians here. Guardians minus a half a run, front five. Guardians money line. Guardians minus 1.5. Guardians minus 2.5. Guardians over the team total at if you get it at 4.5, great. 5.5, I might still consider even playing that there. But I think a lot of opportunities there without having to play money line for the game at minus 240. But team totals where I would look. Like I said, if you can get over 4.5, fantastic. Hitting prop wise, definitely look at Jose Ramirez and Angel Martinez as they've been hot. Might as well ride that train out, right? So on that one. Next one up. We've got 6:40 Eastern time frame as well. So the D-backs got, lit up in Pittsburgh, like we told you. Now it's Eduardo Rodriguez going back to Detroit, where he had his season to get paid by the dumbass Diamondbacks against Melton in this one. So let's be honest here. Detroit's looked bad, right? And then all of a sudden, they even get beat, with, Skubal on the mound. And then they pull off a 10-4 win. Flaherty pitches his best game maybe of the season on this one here. And do we think – I thought the Tigers have went through a little bit of a swoon, and it sucks that it's at home for them. But I think this is bonus time here with Eduardo Rodriguez going off on the other side. Eduardo's been Melton hasn't been that good either. But I think the Diamondbacks are basically about ready to lay down. Tigers are only $1.20 favorite. Tigers money line first 5 innings. Tigers money line for the game. Tigers over the team total. Watch for Spencer Torkelson here. If he's in the lineup, as we're recording this awful early, so we not anywhere near any lineup stuff on this one. But Spencer, I don't know. And I think maybe a couple other guys get it done here for the Tigers. But over their team total, if you can get it at 4.5, once again, like that. I just think the Diamondbacks are ready to kind of lay it down after that disaster in Pittsburgh over the weekend. I just don't think they've got much left in the tank. I think they're ready to trade off Gallen and Kelly as well this week, or I should say these next few days. It would not be, it wouldn't surprise me if Suarez is gone as well. So I think a lot of options there to take the Tigers, and you're not paying much in juice due to the pitching matchup. Next game up, 7:05 Eastern time, Rays and the Yankees. Schlitter and Rasmussen here. So it sounds like the Rays might be willing to let some pieces go. Yandy Diaz might be on the market. If that's the case, would they let him go to an American League East team? Probably not. But kind of shocked. Rays, let's be honest. They were 53 and they got swept by the Reds over the weekend. It was not good. I don't know what happened all of a sudden to this team, but I know they've had a horrible July, right, overall. And they were right in the thick of this thing going into July, but all of a sudden now they're with all the losing they've done, and the other teams that were behind them or ahead of them have taken off. It's too insurmountable almost at this point to even make a wild card. So it sounds like the Rays might be willing to deal a piece here or there. I think they should. Rasmussen, I know they're worried about innings with Rasmussen as well, as we're going to hear that theme a couple times throughout this show of teams worried about their innings for their young pitchers in this one. I do not want to play the Yankees here, but I think it's the proper play on this one. Yankees money line, first 5 innings. Yankees money line for the game. I'm worried about Schlitter. I don't think Schlitter is a dominant, he's not going to be he's a young kid, right? So he can give up a 5 spot in a hurry and, doesn't really have a way to control and get it out of innings. But I honestly think the Rays are kind of down in the dumps a little bit, especially after getting swept by the Reds. I was shocked by the Reds. I thought the Reds might take 2 out of 3, but not a full sweep in that thing. Expected Tampa Bay to show up and get a little bit. Also, Brandon Lowe might be available. He's on the injured list. There might be they're not going to trade Caminero, and the young guys that are, have 5+ years of, team control. But I was surprised after they made that trade to go get a reliever to help out the bullpen. All of a sudden now it seems like they might be sellers, especially after that weekend they just had in Cincinnati. Next game up. Let's see here. Dodgers and the Reds at 7:10 Eastern time. Chase Burns, Yamamoto. So I went through this thing and through this thing and through this thing and was trying to figure out a way to play to play the Reds. I couldn't get there. I tried some more, but I just could not get home on the Reds. Like I said, I wanted to with Chase Burns. The problem with Chase, he really hasn't had a start that would lead you to believe that he can compete with Yamamoto at any time. Yamamoto on the roads, his ERA is almost a 1.5 less than it is at home. And that includes the grand slam that he gave up to the D-backs on the road. So, here's the thing. That's the thing you really got to watch out for. Now, the Dodgers offense has sucked. Let's be really honest with you. It's hard to find 2 guys that have had a decent last week. Freeman hasn't been hitting the ball. Ohtani's been home run or strikeout. He did actually get a couple singles yesterday. So congratulations to Ohtani for actually hitting something besides a strikeout or a homer on that one. And then also Will Smith, though, unfortunately, they can't play him 7 days a week because he can't DH because Ohtani's there. And Will Smith right now is probably their second best bat. And you've got to save him for something for the, you can't play your starting catcher 7 days a week. So, Will Smith should be back in the lineup on Monday. I expect Yamamoto to pitch well here. And Chase Burns, he might get some strikeouts versus this team. That Cincinnati bullpen's a lot worse than what the Dodgers bullpen is. I want to see the Reds get as many wins as humanly possible, but I just don't know if they got enough. I don't think that Chase Burns can have that kind of game to keep up with Yamamoto in this one. Maybe I'm wrong, but, the Dodgers weren't horribly bad juice-wise, but not a lot of fun either, as they were about $1.70 something favorite in this one. But we'll give you all the plays here for the Dodgers game. Dodgers money line -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Dodgers over 4.5 team total. Dodgers -0.5 run. First 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. We've got 2 hitters, same 5 bets apiece. Ohtani and Will Smith, we just mentioned both of them. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up, Boston Red Sox back on the road, going to Minnesota. Woods Richardson against Fitz here. Twins about $1.20 favorite, 9.5 total in this one. Couple ways to look at this particular game here. The Red Sox definitely seem to hit better against left-handers than right-handers. Woods Richardson's actually pitched pretty well as of late. Not, most his last, multiple starts, he's looked pretty decently here. Totals at 9.5, which is kind of big here. I think as the Red Sox do struggle to score, sometimes they struggle to score against the Dodgers for a majority of the weekend when there were supposed to be some big scoring games. So do like the Twins here. Money line first 5, Twins money line for the game. Also under 9.5, I think has a good chance to come in. Under 5.5 front 5 as well. I think you got multiple ways to play in this one. But as the Red Sox hit the road, maybe it goes down a little bit. Bregman's had some decent numbers here as of late. So even if you're not, if you're with us with the Twins there, might still want to play some Bregman props on that one. But not that I'm dying to play any Woods Richardson pitcher props, but he's been solid enough to keep the runs down. I think the Twins can, their offense is not potent, but they can seem to put some runs together, especially if Buxton's raking. He definitely does make a difference there for the Twins. Next game up, we've got the Phillies and the White Sox, 7:40 Eastern time. Christopher Sanchez, D. Martin going for the White Sox. So, like I said, White Sox did get one game. They had a big offensive outpouring on Friday against the Cubs and beat the hell out of Shota for the Cubs. This one here, Christopher Sanchez, another, they're going against another lefty. Can they smack lefties? They're, okay. They're probably going to win a game this series, I would assume. Phillies are over a $2 favorite here. But I'll be really honest with you here. They should be able to keep the scoring down. Sanchez should pitch well enough here, I would believe. And the Phillies should get something done here. Phillies minus a half a run first 5 innings. Phillies minus 1.5 for the game. Could be a lower scoring game, maybe. Games at 8.5. I don't know if I'd play under there, but wouldn't shock me if that game came like 4-2, 4-3 either. Next game up, 7:40 Eastern time frame. We've got a couple more games going off of there. Cubs. We'll start off with the Cubs game there, going against the Brewers. This is a race for the National League Central. Both teams tied. Cubs offense been a little bit better than the Brewers offense all season long. Brewers offense over the last month's been pretty solid. Boyd versus Mizorowski here. So Mizorowski's only really had one bout outing since he come up. Here's the issue with Mizorowski. They did it in the last game. The Brewers only let him go 3 2/3 as they're worried about innings. So they're going to limit him again because they want to keep him fresh for the playoffs. This is the issue with young pitchers sometimes, right? They just limit their innings, especially if you're a team that's probably going to the playoffs and you want them available to pitch in October. So the Brewers are already looking that way. Obviously them and the Cubs, best record in the National League. One's going to end up one's going to end up either the 1 or the 2 seed more than likely, and the other one's probably going is going to be the first wild card. So they're going to, this game in Milwaukee, and P. Crow Armstrong, by the way, does a lot of damage in Milwaukee. I honestly think since they're going to get that so much opportunity in that Brewers bullpen is where the advantage does lie here for the Cubs. Matthew Boyd, by the way, has been their best pitcher all season long. 11-3, but that ERA of like 2.2 has been fantastic for him. We expect Boyd to pitch well here. The Cubs are, I think they've played 5 games so far this season. The Cubs got a 3-2 lead in the wins column there. But let's give you all the bets here for the Cubs game, and it's basically a wash on the money line. So as well, Cubs money line minus 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. The gem of the day is going to be that Cubs over 3.5 team total. Cubs money line first 3, 5, and 7 innings. PCA and Tucker, same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Michael Busch over the last week hasn't been good. I don't know if it seems like ever since they moved him to the top of the lineup, it's been a little bit off anyway over the last 2 weeks on that one. Tucker needs to if he gets the program going again, he's really, after that monster start he had, he's definitely tailed off. I mean, PCA, Suzuki, Nico Horner's actually played better, stuff like that. And they've been getting production from the bottom of the lineup with Shaw a little bit here and there as well. The Cubs are trying to make a move for a starting pitcher or two and relievers. They believe it's pitching. It's not hitting. Better keep an eye on the hitting. And they're thinking Tucker and Bush are going to work themselves out of this thing. And Suzuki and PCA continue to be strong. By the way, PCA is almost at a 30-30. 27 homers, 29 stolen bases. He's been fantastic. Now, I know he's not going to finish in the top 5, probably in home runs or something, but do you have to be the best home run hitter in the league in order to win MVP? I mean, if the Cubs end up with a better overall record than the Dodgers, and let's say Crow Armstrong puts up, 40-40, do we not think he's got a shot at MVP? Probably not. It's Shohei. And Shohei can obviously pitch now a few innings here and there as well. So probably not, but we shall see as this goes along here as well. Next game up, Braves and the Royals, and one of the harder games to handicap that I've seen in a minute. And here's the reason why. By the way, it's Strider and the 45-year-old Rich Hill as the starting pitchers in here. Strider has not been dominant so far this season. He hasn't. The Royals don't strike out a bunch either. And to be really honest, in the games where Strider hasn't struck out more than 8, he has not been awesome. There's a lot of his outs do come out by the strikeout ball. So, but the Braves are so freaking bad on the road. They're horrible on the road. Now, left-handed pitching, they hit all right. And, the thing is, against Rich Hill, everybody's going to have numbers because he's been around for 7,500 years. So if you go look at, they got numbers all over the place against him. Yeah, it's because Rich Hill's pitched for a bunch of teams, National League, and they've got to face him a bunch. Rich Hill pitched well. 5 innings first start gave him 5. If he gives the Royals 5 on a continuous basis, that's going to be pretty good. I honestly think the Royals are probably going to make a move, though. I don't see they've made a couple of moves. They got Frazier in. I'll be really honest with you. If Seth Lugo's not dealt, I'd be a little surprised, to say the least, on that one. I know they picked up Grichuk and Adam Frazier, but that was really – it was more out of necessity than anything. As Caglione goes down as well. Now MJ Melendez is back up. The Royals are hard to figure out. If the Royals could score on close to 5 runs a game on average, their season would be a lot different. Right now, they'd be in a wild card race, if not pushing the Tigers a little bit. But they haven't been able to score offensively, so that's been the issue. Bobby Witt's not having that dominant season that he did last year. And the reason is he's had to push, and he's striking out a lot more than I've ever seen, than he struck out in his young career. But the Braves are too big a favorite here on the road for as bad as they've been on the road. I understand why, because the pitching matchup and it's the Braves, so you're always paying a tax here. But I think the play is the Royals, and that's the way we've got this one. Royals money line plus 1.5, minus 1.5 as well on the run line. Royals over 3.5 team total. And another gift, I think, on the board is the Braves under 5.5 team total. Strider under 8.5 strikeouts. Royals money line, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. 2 hitters, 5 bets apiece. If you haven't been paying attention, Miguel Garcia has been raking. So Garcia and Bobby Witt, home run double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up, Marlins and the Cardinals. Cabrera versus Paliente in this one. Cardinals a slight favorite here with Andrew Paliente on the mound. He's pitched god-awful as of late. Cabrera's actually pitched a little bit better here recently. So the Marlins are a dog here, but we'll take the dog stuff. Marlins plus 0.5 run first 5 innings. Marlins plus 1.5 of the game. If you want to sprinkle a little bit on Marlins money line, don't blame you either. Marlins over if the team total is at 3.5, it's definitely over 4.5, maybe a little bit of a sprinkle there as well. Next game up, Nationals and the Astros. Lord versus Framber Valdez. The Stros are a monster favorite here at 8:10 Eastern time frame. Framber's pitched well. The Astros have struggled at home here. Do that, and I know they're waiting. They want Pena and Alvarez back. Alvarez, what was it? Supposedly he took 50 swings in a batting practice here recently. So they're hoping to get those guys back. They need offensive help. That's where the issues. I mean, Hunter Brown's also had an issue here lately. Framber's been good though. I expect them, even though they're a monster favorite here. I don't think they should be this big a favorite, but they are $2, like I said, $2.40 favorite. Lord has pitched, he's pitched all right. But the Nationals bullpen is god-awful, and I think that's where they're going to have to score most of their runs here. Give us the Astros money line, Astros -0.5 first 5, -1.5 for the game. I'd also sprinkle a little bit on 2.5. That's a game live, though, to watch out, as if the Nationals get any sort of lead going into late innings, their bullpen is ugly. It's a good chance for a comeback for the Stros there, so might get some good live action money in that one as well. Next game up, we've got 9:38 Eastern time frame. Let's see, we've got Rangers going out to LA against the Angels. If you haven't paid attention here lately, Rangers are red hot. All of a sudden, they're back in this thing. They have made a little bit of move for sure. Rangers, excuse me, they won 6 in a row, 9 out of their last 10. And DeGrom on the bump against Koknowitz, who can't seem to sink the ball in LA at all. I like this matchup. No question at all. So one of the favorites of the day, even though the Rangers are pushing a $2 favorite here. Rangers -0.5 from 5, -1.5 for the game. Also, Rangers over team total is, like I said, they continue to hit the ball. Next game up, 9:40 Eastern time frame. The Padres hosting the Mets. Frankie Montas, Dylan Cease. Well, all of a sudden, the Mets hit in a place that's hard to hit in San Francisco, right? What the hell? They beat up Logan Webb. Dylan Cease coming in. Cease supposedly on the market right now as well. So looks like the Padres are about done with him. They've had enough. They're like, forget this fool. We're on to the next one. And the Mets come out this. Montas pitched better his last start than he had before so far this season. The Mets are a dog here. We're going to take another dog on Monday night. Mets +0.5 run, first 5. Mets +1.5 for the game. Maybe the Padres win this thing, but I think the Mets can keep it relatively close. They continue to score runs. That's all that's what they should be able to do, what they should have been able to do all season, but they score some runs. The Padres definitely struggle to score, especially a lot of times at home. So, like I said, Mets plus and plus there. Next game up, and the final game of we got 2 more games. My bad. We got the Pirates and the Giants. No starter announced yet for the Giants. Mitch Keller going for the Pirates. Pirates on the road haven't been good, but in a ballpark that doesn't allow a lot of runs, that's good for Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is not that bad of a pitcher. It sounds like now that he was going to be available, and now he's not going to be available because they want to have another starter there with, I guess, Paul Skeens to try to be competitive for the next couple of years. But I do like the under 7.5 here. I think it's got some value as well. In this one, 9:45 Eastern time frame. We don't know who the Giants starter is going to be. I think Pirates +0.5 run, front 5. Pirates +1.5, under 7.5 as well. I think all play in this particular game. And then we get to the final game of the night, the A's and the Mariners. The A's had a heck of a trip to Houston, and the Mariners, who I thought should have destroyed the Angels, would they win 1 out of 3 there? Yeah. So I mean, not a kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I said, the A's have won 4 in a row, and they're 4 in a row to get to 500 their last 10. Seattle, they're 500 their last 10. They had an excellent chance to really kind of creep up and take over from the Stros here, as bad as the Stros have played. But I mean, the Stros were only 4-6 their last 10. So the Mariners are still 4 games back in the AL West. I like that. Another dog, I think, to finish out the night. Astros plus a half front 5. Astros plus 1.5 for the game. Astros over the team total. Not Astros. I keep saying Astros. Let's talk A's. Sorry. A's plus a half a run front 5 against the Mariners. A's plus 1.5 for the game. A's over their team total. And Kurtz continues to hit home runs. Rooker still looks good. I mean, they got offensive firepower. The question's going to be, all season's been pitching for the A's on that one. But we'll take them in a little bit of a dog roll there. If you want to sprinkle a little bit on the money line, I don't blame you there. But I think the plus half first 5 innings and the plus 1.5 overall probably best ways to go. All right, so we just went through a full slate of games and bets. Do you like the content you're seeing here and want to see some more? We'd love to have you along for the ride. All you need to do is hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on, and we'll show up for your follow or subscriptions tab. Or make life simple for yourself. Turn on those notifications for that social media platform. You'll get a notification sent to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match those up with your bets and give you the ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. Also, as we mentioned before, outlier.com. We'll have a link in the comments section for all of you out there to check that out. A fantastic place to get your research done on all sports: basketball, baseball, football, college and pro, WNBA as well. If you want to do your own research, come up with your own stuff, Outlier is a great place to help you, assist you in doing that. Also, private Discord channel is available for all of you out there as well. All you need to do is subscribe. Go to our checkout link at thewap.com in the comments section here on YouTube. Once you do, we will send you over the Discord invite as well. It is $50 per month. But if you're wagering over a couple $100 per month total, it's well worth it to spend some money, get these bets ahead of time before we put them out for the public. Also, you're going to get a bunch of bonus material, Formula bonus bets, Formula One, WNBA. I apologize for this last week. If you're on our Discord, I haven't been fully able, as I'm only one man, and when we're down a little bit for the count, unfortunately, it sucks health-wise. But trust me, you will get so many plays. They're coming out your ears for the most part. And, education is to go along with them. There's well over a couple hundred other members on there to help you out as well. If you have questions and I'm not available to answer right away, a lot of times somebody else that's been on for years is going to answer for you. So come on, join that Discord. It's a lot of fun. And let's, make some money while we're doing it as well. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.